Hello guys, welcome to Movie Mind YouTube channel. Today, in this video, I'm going to explain the full story of Augustine movie to you. The film shows the love between a French neurologist named Charcot and his patient Augustine. This is a French historical erotic drama movie released in 2012. Let's watch this movie story without delay. One day, while some were at a dinner party, Augustine and the rest of the staff were serving them. Augustine is ill at the time and her arm is numb. And then the fits come and go while she is serving them food. Everyone there is afraid to look at Augustine like that. Then one of them pours water on Augustine's face, relieving her of her fits. At that point she had one eye paralyzed. Augustine then goes to a hospital with his friend Rosalie. There the doctor examines Augustine and tells her that she will have to stay in the hospital for a few days for treatment and calls a woman named Pierre and tells her to take Augustine to the canteen. Augustine then leaves Rosalie and is admitted to the hospital and goes to the canteen with Pierre. Augustine is confused when she sees some of the patients there. The next night Augustine prays to the gods to help him recover quickly. Then the patient next to her said, "You do not have to pray. No one here will listen to you. Charcot too. You should pray for Charcot here." The next day Augustine and the rest of the patients were all ready and waiting outside the Charcot cabin for a checkup. After a while only one of the women who went inside the cabin, Blanche, was examined and the rest of them postponed the checkup until tomorrow. And when Augustine is in the kitchen at the hospital, the fits come again. Charcot, walking towards her this time, notices her and examines her naked in his cabin, realizing that one side of her body has lost touch. He pierced her hand with a hot needle but Augustine felt no pain. Charcot also learned at the time that although Augustine was physically mature but she had never done menstruation. Later, while Charcot is having dinner with his wife Constance, Charcot wants to talk to Conti, who is a friend of her father's for the medical academy, and she says he will help. Charcot then meets Conti, who is told by his wife. With him, I think I should run an academy. I spend a lot for it and remodeling my hospital. If there are some more lectures I can take a step forward for my academy. Once they attend my presentation I will definitely convince them of it. When he said, "For your academy," then that presentation might be a bit boring, Charcot said, "I have a case this time." It definitely impresses them all. Rosalie then arrives at the hospital and meets Augustine. When she asked Augustine, "What did they say about your health?" she said, "I did not know and did not even understand what they were saying." At that moment, Charcot summons Augustine to his cabin. There Charcot tests Augustine to tell names of the weeks, to tell names of the months, and to write anything. Tired of this, Augustine asked, "Do I look like an idiot to you?" Asks. To which he replied, "I am going to introduce you to some important people. If it works I'll show you to the lectures." The next night Augustine begs the gods to bring him back. Later, Augustine is introduced to some important people. Then Augustine comes and stands in front of them. Charcot then introduces Augustine to them and makes her fit in front of them. Before doing so, Augustine hypnotizes her to make her feel sexual feelings in fit time so that they do not feel bored with the presentation. Everyone there loves the presentation. They applaud Charcot with applause. Later that night, while Charcot was having dinner with his wife and other important people, one of them told them, "Augustine is so beautiful as Charcot's new patient, but she has not given birth to children." Charcot then warns him that he has said so. The longer night Charcot, the more Augustine thinks about fainting in front of them. The next day Charcot, while Augustine is being treated nude, his assistant is also there, looking at Augustine. Charcot then sent him out and wrapped the cloth around Augustine's breasts after the treatment. Charcot then arranges for Augustine to have a separate room with her, rather than with other patients. Augustine loves that room and she has a good impression of him. Charcot, on the other hand, is studying the Augustine case. One day Augustine helps his fellow patient in chopping off a chicken. At that moment Augustine fainted at the sight of hen's blood. When she regained consciousness she was able to open both of her eyes normally, but still could not touch one side of her body and her left arm was paralyzed. Menstruation begins for Augustine after this event. One day Charcot left for Bordeaux for a meeting. Augustine then asks about Charcot during treatment, realizing that he has gone to Bordeaux for a meeting, and Augustine feels fit and locks her in a room. When Charcot returns, he tells Pierre that he wants to see Augustine and call her. Then she says, "Augustine has not been cooperating with us at all since you left. She has not been eating properly and has been very weak too." Charcot then goes to Augustine, unties her, drinks the soup for himself, and tells her, "You must eat to be healthy enough to cure your illness." The two then spend more time with Charcot's monkey, during which time Charcot also becomes more attracted to Augustine. Charcot's assistant then told him, Augustine wakes up once a night and sits on the bed, kisses someone next to her and goes back to bed. She rests her hand on his chest and calls out to her imaginary lover with coarse language. Her whole body was covered in sweat at the time. The next night Charcot goes to her room to check on Augustine and confirms that what his assistant said is true. This time Charcot treats Augustine in front of his assistant. That treatment is as vulgar as ever. Later, as Charcot and Augustine go, Augustine asks, "Why am I being treated like that in front of everyone?" Asks. Then Charcot asked, "Do you want to be healed?" Asks back. Then Augustine said, "You always say that. But, I do not seem to be getting better with this disease. My friend Rosalie also stopped meeting me. I'll go out and do something." Charcot then promises Augustine that he will cure her and keep her in the hospital. Charcot finally agreed to give a lecture in front of the medical academy with Augustine. However, when Augustine was getting ready for the presentation before the lecture, she ran away from there, so she fell down the stairs while fleeing. At that point her head is bruised and her paralyzed arm heals, as well as the part of her body that lost touch regains touch. Goes to the presentation hall where Charcot is to say this thing. There Augustine finds out how important that presentation is to Charcot, who acts as a cure for her there, and Augustine does not cooperate with Charcot when he tries to hypnotize her for his speech. Augustine secretly tells him that she was healed by Charcot at that time. And when Charcot apologizes to them, Augustine pretends to be fits. This will make the presentation a success and everyone there will applaud Charcot. Charcot then gives his speech to his assistant and meets Augustine in his cabin. There Augustine and Charcot both meet physically. Charcot's assistant then arrives and tells Charcot that the medical academy wants to meet him. When Charcot later meets them, they praise him and promise to support his medical academy. So while Charcot is receiving their compliments and support, he sees Augustine walking out of the hospital and fleeing from the sanatorium. So Augustine gets out of that hospital and gets freedom. This is how the movie ends. For more interesting movie explanations like this, subscribe to the Movie Mind YouTube channel immediately and activate the notification bell that comes up immediately. Also, if you like this video, please like, comment your opinion. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.